Students, in the last session we discussed about the network terminologies and different types of the elements and different types of another network elements, that is lumped, distributed, unilateral, bilateral elements, and then you have to observe that what are the different sources must be there. So in this session we discuss about the some analysis of the network. So when you have to be reduce the any complexity of the network, so we are using the different types of the analysis must be there. Under that, Kirchhoff's law, star delta transformations, and then source transformation techniques, and some of the theorems must be there. So there are different network analysis must be there. Under that, first one we see about the what is the Kirchhoff's laws. Under this Kirchhoff's laws, basically there are two types of classes. So what are there? First one is Kirchhoff's voltage law, and the next one is Kirchhoff's current law. So when you go about the Kirchhoff's voltage law, all of you know that the algebraic sum of the voltages is equal to 0. And when you know about the Kirchhoff's current law, the algebraic sum of the currents must be equal to 0. So this Kirchhoff's voltage law is also called as mesh analysis and loop analysis. Mesh analysis and loop analysis. What is why you call this loop analysis means, in this Kirchhoff's voltage law, first you have to observe that how many loops are there. So first of all you want to know that what is loop. Loop means it starts at one point and return back to the same point is nothing but the loop. It starts at one point and return back to the same point is nothing but the loop. So in this Kirchhoff's voltage law, generally this is called the algebraic sum of the voltages is equal to 0, and then we observe that in this Kirchhoff's law, what are the steps we have to be do. So first thing you do, how many loops must be there. So generally if you take this circuit, there is only one loop must be there. So in this loop there is taken as the current will be I. So what is that? It starts at one point and return back to the same point is nothing but the loop. When you take this circuit, how many voltage sources must be there? Here there is a 4 voltage sources must be there. Under that V1, V2, V3, V4 are the voltage sources, and the remaining must be the resistance. That is R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5. So whenever these voltage sources must be there, this is a battery. We does not change about the no need to change the polarities. But when you have taken the resistance point of view, here the entering will be depend upon the direction of the current. We have to assume the polarities. So when you have to assume the polarities, then you have to whatever the entering must be there, you put as positive, and whatever the leaving must be there, you put as the negative sign. That means, so when you observe that when there is a circuit, it is a combination of the both active and the passive elements. So what are the active elements? Active elements are voltage sources. V1, V2, V3, V4 are the active elements. When you have taken as resistors, R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5 are the passive elements. The total combination will be circuit. So in this case, when you assume this KVL equation, first what can we do? First we have to put the loop. So how many loops must be there? In this example we have taken, there is only one loop must be there. If suppose there is a number of loops are there, then you have to put I1, I2 and so on to you put the IN. And then there is a second step you have taken as the polarities. So how you assume the polarities? Polarities we have to assume that if there is the current will be entering point of view, then put it as positive sign. If it will be the leaving point of view, put it as negative sign. So here the entering will be the whatever the loop must be there. Here whatever the entering current will be resistor, that will be taken as a positive and leaving will be negative. Same thing when the R2, the current entering will be positive, leaving will be negative. Same thing R3 and R4. R5 there is a small change, that is this is the plus and this is the minus. So then you have to assume the polarities. In the third thing, whatever you have to do, we have to write the equations. How you write down the equations? We all know that the algebraic sum of the voltages is equal to 0. Generally, according to Ohm's law, we know that voltage is equal to current into resistance. Voltage is equal to current into resistance. V is equal to I into R. V is equal to I into R. we know that sum of the voltages is equal to 0. So when you have to write down the equation, when there is a rise of potential, put it as positive sign. When it will be the drop of potential, put it as negative sign. That means if suppose there is a V1 voltage is there, when you show here, there is the minus to plus. So it will be the from negative to positive. That means it will be the rise of potential. Then you have to put it to positive sign. Another, when you take that here plus to minus. So whatever the plus to minus is that here there is a drop of the potential from positive to negative. It will be comes down. So we put it as a negative sign. So negative sign. But when you write down this equation, the algebraic sum of the voltages must be equal to 0. Here minus to plus, it is V1. So because there is no change, we have writing the voltages only. So we generally put as V1. But when here, when you have to write down the voltage here, what is the voltage? Current into resistance. Generally, current is taken as I, and what is the resistance value here? R1. According to Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R1. So we have to put as I into R1. Plus to minus I into R1. Next, go to here. Plus to minus I into R2. Now, plus to minus drop of potential. Then V2. Next, plus to minus I into R3. Next one, you are going to plus to minus I into R4. Next, minus to plus. So minus to plus will be the rise of potential. So we have to put V3 because this is the voltage source only. Next, here also there is plus to minus R5. So it will be the rise of potential. Put it as a positive sign. Then it is the minus to plus, that is the voltage, that is V4. So some algebraic sum of the voltages must be equal to 0. So in this Kirchhoff's voltage law, we have to assume first how many loops must be there, and then second thing we have to assume the polarities, and the third thing when you have to write down the equations. So under the write down the equations, you have to follow that. If there is the rise of potential, put it as positive. If there is the drop of potential, put it as a negative sign. So this is that means algebraic sum of the voltages is equal to 0 is nothing but the Kirchhoff's voltage law, or it is also called as loop analysis, or it is also called as the mesh analysis. Next one, it is the Kirchhoff's current law. What is Kirchhoff's current law? The algebraic sum of the currents. The algebraic sum of the currents is equal to 0. The algebraic sum of the currents is equal to 0. So, or it is also called as nodal analysis. So, why you call it as a nodal analysis? Means this is preferred by the node. What is node? Node means it is two or more elements meet at one point is nothing but the node, or it is the sum of the elements entering is equal to the sum of the elements leaving. Two or more elements meet at one point is node, or sum of the elements entering is equal to the sum of the elements leaving. So when you observe here the figure, there are the four currents must be there: I1, I2, I3 and I4. Here I1, I2 are the entering to the node, and I3, I4 are the leaving to the node. I1, I2 will be the entering to the node, I3, I4 are the leaving to the node. So the entering of the node is equal to the leaving of the node, or the algebraic sum of the currents is equal to 0. So entering will be I1 plus I2 is equal to I3 plus I4. That is sum of the currents entering is equal to the sum of the currents leaving to the node, or the algebraic sum of the currents is equal to 0. So here I1 plus I2 is equal to I3 plus I4. So this is about the Kirchhoff's current law. So the Kirchhoff's voltage law means the algebraic sum of the voltages is equal to 0, and Kirchhoff's current law is Kirchhoff's voltage law is also called as mesh analysis and the loop analysis. Kirchhoff's current law is called as the nodal analysis. In this Kirchhoff's voltage law, we followed the steps. Or first one, we have taken the how many loops must be there, and second one, due to the depend upon the direction of the current, we assign the polarities of the passive elements, and the third one, when there is the when you write down the equation of thing, when there is a rise of potential, we put it as positive. When it will be the drop of potential, we put it as a negative signs. So for that, we have to write the equations. According to Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R. For taking the Kirchhoff's current law, algebraic sum of the currents is equal to 0. So when there is the algebraic sum of the current is equal to 0 means the sum of the currents entering is equal to sum of the currents leaving, or the algebraic sum of the currents is equal to 0. Here there is a 4 currents must be there. It is I1, I2, I3, I4. This I1, I2 are entering and I3, I4 are leaving. So I1 plus I2 is equal to I3 minus I4, or I1 plus I2 minus I3 minus I4 is equal to 0. This totally this current law is based on rule I is equal to V by R. That is Kirchhoff's current law is the algebraic sum of the currents is equal to 0. So I is equal to V by R. So the total whatever the equation will be depend for voltage law V equal to I. This I is equal to V by R. This and the Kirchhoff's current. Next to taken as a small example for the good. So we know that there is a 2 loops must be there. Up to that there is only 1 loop we have taken, but here there is a 2 loops must be there. So under these 2 loops, we observe that there is a voltage V1 and voltage V2, and the resistance are R1, R2 and R3. So when you observe here, up to 1, whatever the resistance will be belongs to the R1, it belongs to current I1, and R2 it belongs current I2. But when you observe here, this R3 current must be there. This R3 will belongs to both I1 and I2. For that purpose, for that type, then how you write down the equations here? So first, we already know that. First, we have assumed that how many loops must be there. Here we observe that there are 2 loops must be there. If suppose there is 3, 4 up to n, there are number of loops must be there. Then you have to put I1, I2, I3, I4. The current direction is depend upon ours, because if the direction of the current will be the opposite, the answer will be comes to the negative sign, then we have to put that it will becomes to the opposite side. It will be assumed it will be the opposite side. So here there is the 2 loops must be there. So first when you write down the equation, I am telling that first you have to find how many loops must be there. How many loops are there? 2 loops. Next thing, we observe that when there is depend upon the direction of the current, we have to put the polarities. That means when there is entering the current, put it as plus, and leaving the current, we put it as minus. Like that, we have to assume the polarities. Entering plus, leave minus, plus and leave minus. So when you take this loop, there is no change of the voltage, and then R1 current entering is I1, it is plus minus. When it will be goes to R3, entering will be plus, leaving will be minus. Like that polarity is assumed. Like the second loop also. So the direction is like this. So entering will be I2 is plus, minus. The V2 is not changed, and comes to the R3, the downward part is plus and the upward part we have taken as the minus. Upward part we have taken as the minus part, because when you observe that this I1 is like this direction downwards and the I2 will be the upward direction, but that means the 2 directions will be opposite. So for that purpose, so first we have to assume the polarities. Next thing, what we do, the rise of potential is that, then put it as positive sign. When there is a drop of potential is that, then we have to put it as a negative sign. So when here this is minus 2 plus. So minus 2 plus, we have to put plus positive V1 and plus 2 minus, minus of I1 into R1. Next come here, plus 2 minus, minus of R3, but this I1 and I2 will depend on both groups. So we put it as I1 minus I2. I1 minus I2. So we observe R3. When you write down the first loop, we prefer the first loop current is the main. When you write down the second loop, you prefer the first current will be second loop current, because preferring will be the whatever the R3 must be there, R3 into, when they write on the first loop current, I1 minus, when the write down the second loop current, I2 minus I1. Why I am telling I1 minus I2 and I2 minus I1? Why I am telling that? Because when it will be the opposite direction must be there, then I am telling I1 minus I2. If suppose R3 there is two currents will be in the same direction, then you have to, when there is two are in upwards direction, then we have to put I1 plus I2. When the two are in the downward direction, then also we have put I1 plus I2. When there is same direction must be there, then we have 10 positive sign. When there is opposite direction where is there, we have put a negative sign. When there is the entering, when you have to write down the loop in the first loop, the preferred current is first loop current. When you have to write down the loop for the second loop, the preferred current will be the second loop current. Like that you have to write down the equations. But when you see that this R1 and R2, there is no chance, there is no, it does not depend upon the two currents, because R1 is the individual of I1 and R2 is the individual of I2, but R3 is the combination of both I1 and I2 current. So you have to write down the equation for the first loop, R3 is there, and the second loop also R3 is there. So when you observe that, for the writing the mesh analysis, that is KVL equation, we observe that. So what is, how many loops are there? Then you have to assume the polarities. When there is the positive, that means right, entering the current, depend upon the current, you have to assume the polarities. And third thing, we have to assume that when there is the rise of potential, put it as a positive sign. When there is drop of potential, put it as a negative sign. This is about the mesh analysis. Next thing, another example we have. So when you observe here, there is a simple circuit must be there. Here there is that 4 resistance must be there, 5, 6, 4 and 10, and the 2 voltage sources 15 and 10 volts must be there. So here also there is 2 loops must be there, I1 and I2. When you observe here, in the first loop, the 5 ohm will be depend upon the only first loop current. When you observe here, the second loop, the 4 ohms and 6 ohms will be comes to the second loop. But when you observe that 10 ohms is depend upon the both I1 and I2 current. 10 ohms will be depend upon the both I1 and I2 currents. So when you observe the, it will be depend upon the I1 and I2 current. When the direction of the both must be same, then you have 10 into I1 plus I2. When will be opposite, then it will be depend upon the figure. I1 is entering, I2 is the leaving point of view, then you have to write 10 into I1 minus I2. But when you take the first loop is the preference, first loop polarities is mentioned, that is plus to minus of 10 into I1 minus I2. When this loop is taken as plus to minus of 10 into I2 minus I1, 10 into I2 minus I1. Like that you have to write. When you have to write down all the equation, then you solve these equations depend upon the direct equation method, or you have to find about the what is according to the Cramer's method also, you have to find out the total equations. This is upon the example of the KVL. Next thing, what is a nodal analysis? Already I tell that what is Kirchhoff's current law means the algebraic sum of the currents is equal to 0. Here why you are called this nodal analysis means this KCL will be depends upon the node voltages. So in this node means 2 or more points meet at one point is nothing but the nodal analysis. So this expression is based upon the basic difference of the current. Current is nothing but the current is equal to V by R. When you observe the simple circuit here from the nodal analysis, when you observe that, I taken as the 3 resistances. There is the internal some resistance will be there, that is the E1, E2 and E3 must be there. Here I take V1 is the node voltage. why I am telling that V1 is a node here. I am not putting this node here because this is not node. Whenever there is node must be there. There is two or more elements meet at one point. If it will be meet at one point, then only it will be node. But here there is no node must be there. So when you put here only, then it will be node. So R1, R2 and R3 must be meet here one node. So when R1 here there is some voltage will be connected here, or R2 voltage will be connected here, and R3 will be voltage will be connected there. So when you have write down the equation for the KCL, we know that according to the Ohm's law, I is equal to V by R. If suppose this E1, E2, E3 are not there, then simply we have taken as V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2 plus V3 by V1 by R3. V1 by R1 plus V1 by R2 plus V1 by R3. But there is the another voltage source must be there here. So for that I am writing that V1 minus E1 by R1 depending upon the polarities plus V1 minus E2 by R2 plus V1 minus E3 by R3 is equal to 0. Like that you have to mention. So V1, if suppose there is no voltage source is there, then you have to write V1 by R1 plus V1 by R2 plus V1 by R3. But here there is the voltage sources must be there. For that point we have to write down V1 minus E1 by R1, V1 minus E2 by R2 plus V1 minus E3 by R3. So that the sum of the currents must be equal to 0. This is called about the KCL or nodal analysis. Next thing we have observed that super mesh analysis. So that means what is super meshes analysis? So whenever there is a one current source must be coming in between the any loops, there is current source must be come there, then you have to eliminate that current source. That means you have to write down that current source separately, and you have to open that current source, and you have to draw that complete loop in one form, and then you have to write down the equations. That means when there is two meshes are there, we have to write down in the form of the single mesh, then it is called a super mesh analysis. That means here where there is a small circuit must be there. So when you observe here, there is the three loops must be there. That is I1 loop, I2 loop, I3 loop. Generally KVL equation is like this. When you observe deeply, here there is the voltage source must be there, but here there is the two current source must be there. One is DC4 and DC3 must be two current source must be there. So when you have to write down the equations, first you have to assume that how many loops are there. First in the beginning we have to observe how many loops are there. That is I1 loop, I2 loop and I3 loop must be there. Three loops must be there. Then second what you do, depending upon the current directions you have to assume the polarities. Then over. Next third thing what we can do is, generally in the KVL equation what we observe that the algebraic sum of the voltage is equal to 0. But here what we observe that there is the current source is there in between the two loops. Then what we do that, this is like that, it is called a super mesh analysis. Then what we do, wherever the current source is there, so suppose DC3 is there. DC3 is depend upon the I1 current. Depend upon the I1 current. So I1 is there. What is the direction of the I1 and what is the direction of the DC3? It will be same. So I1 is equal to whatever the value is there. You have to write down that value. Then you have to open this circuit. Next, another DC4 is there. In this DC4 there is I2 current and I3 current must be there. But this DC4 is depends upon I2 and I3. When the direction will be DC4 is upwards, the I2 will be upwards, but the I3 will be downwards. That means I2 minus I3 is equal to some value of the DC4. I2 minus I3 is equal to some value of DC4. then you have to open this. When you have to write down the equation first of the current sources, and you have to open this. When you have to open this, there is no path for this loop, and when you have to open this total loop must be the another path, because when you have to open, there is no two loops must be there. Totally this complete path will be only one loop must be there. So for that, there is in this circuit, when you observe that after the super mesh analysis, we have to observe that there is complete path will be only one loop must be there. But you have to be represent that there will be the whatever the currents must be there, that is I1, I2, I3 must be there. But whatever you have to do is, generally we have to open DC3 current, but this is the first equation, and when you open the DC4 current, then you have to write down the second equation. Then you observe that this totally will be one loop, but we have write down the equation. This 2 ohms, 1 ohms will be depend upon I2 current only. 8 ohms, 1 ohms will be depend upon I3 current only, and 8 ohms will be depend upon both I1 and I3 currents. 1 ohm will be depend upon I1 and I2 currents. So you have to, there is no need to change of I1, I2, I3. There is only you have to done that. First you have to, whatever the current source must be there, for that you have to write the separate equations for that current source. I1 is equal to some DC3 and I2 minus I3 is equal to some DC4. Then we observe that, then we have to open that DC4 and DC3. Then you write down the equation. There is only one loop must be there. But for that loop, you have to take in the I1, I2, I3 currents only. But I2 will be represent for 2 ohms and 1 ohm. But in the 2 ohms and 1 ohm for I2, 2 ohms for I2 current and 1 ohm for I3 current. But this 1 ohm will be represent for both I2 and I1, and 8 ohms will be represent both I3 and I1. But depend upon the direction, that will be the entering or the leaving. Depend upon the polarities, we have to mention either it will be the positive or negative signs. This is about the super mesh analysis. Next, super node analysis. Same thing, circuits containing voltage sources will be there. Then it is called as super node analysis. If there is any current source must be there, then we use the super mesh analysis. If there is any voltage source must be there, then it is called as super node analysis. So this is about the super node analysis. When you observe this circuit, here there without resistance, there is a single voltage source is there between the two nodes must be there. That is type of circuit will be called as super node analysis. For the circuit, what we do is, for this which nodes which nodes will be preferred for this 12 volts circuit must be there. That is V1, V2 node and V3 node. This part is nothing but the super node. First you have to write down the equations. V2 minus V3 is equal to 12 volts. So first you have to write down this equation. Then you have to write down the different equation, that is V2 minus V1 by 2 ohms. Next, for V3 minus V4 by 4 volts. These totally, here there is only one mistake is here V1, this is V2. Generally we observe that this is V1 and this is V2. This is the super node analysis. For that you have to write down V1 minus V2 is equal to 12 volts. Then you have to observe V1 minus 6 by 2 plus V1 by 1. This is one node, plus V3 minus 4 by 2 ohms plus V3 by 2. This complete will be observed from the one equation only. Then you have to solve this equation. You get the how much of the voltages and how much of the current will. This complete, when you have to be write down the super node for this part, then you have to short this. Then this complete picture will becomes to the only one node. That is called as this V1 and V4 is not there. There is only V2 must be taken as V1, V3 must be taken as V2. So V1 minus 6 by 2, okay, plus V2 by 1 plus V3 by 2 plus V3 plus 4 by minus of minus plus 4 by 2. This complete will be equation 1 V1. For that we have to take as some V1 minus V2 is equal to 12 volts. This is one equation must be. Then you have to substitute all the equations. Then you get that what is the voltages and what is the current. So super node, super mesh, that is KVL, KCL, super node and super mesh must be there. Super mesh means there if any current source must be there in between the two loops, then it is called as super mesh is there. If any voltage source is there in between the two nodes, then it is called as super node analysis. Next thing we observe that about star delta transformation is there and source technique. Source transformation is there and star delta transformations is there. So what is star to delta transformation? We all know that here this is called as Y symbol is called as star and delta it will be triangle is called delta. So what is, how you find out the star delta transformation? So generally there is the derivation for star delta. This is for the star R1 is equal to, that means sum of the, when you put here star from this circuit, resistance, otherwise when you R1 is equal to RA RB RC by RA plus RB plus RC. And when you find out the R1, it is RJ total resistance equal plus RC, like that R2 RA RC by RC, like to RA plus RC. So when R2 delta star transformation, if suppose I have to find out the RA in the delta form, then you have to find out the sum of the pairs of possible pairs of star resistance, that is R1 R2 plus R2 R3 plus R3 R1 by the opposite resistance of the opposite resistance. So when you find out the RA, the opposite resistance of the star is R1. So when you find out RC, sum of the possible pairs of R1 R2 plus opposite resistance RB and RC you have to find out. So star to delta and delta to star transformation. So from star to delta and delta to star transformation, when we have to find out the star values, the formula will be adjacent resistance by total resistance of delta. When you have to find out the delta values, sum of the possible pairs of star resistance by opposite resistance of star resistance. It is nothing but star to delta transformation. Next, finally we have taken as the, so there is a small example of star to delta transformation. Here generally we know that is R1 R2 R3 and R1 R2 R3 Rx Ry and Ryb. If you have to convert the star to delta or delta to star transformation, what we do is when you have to find out the star values, what is the equation? Sum of the, that means the possible pairs of delta resistance by total resistance, opposite resistance of the star, sum of the possible pairs of the star resistances by opposite resistance of star. And for this delta connection, that means when you have to find out the star values, adjacent resistance by total resistance. Next we have to go about the source transformation technique. Generally we know that there are the two sources must be there. One is the voltage sources and the next one is the current sources. So What is voltage? Voltage source means any sources, that means whatever the current must be there, the voltage will be maintained constant, then it is called as voltage source. So ideal voltage source. For current source, whatever the voltage must be there, the current will be maintained constant, that is called as current sources must be there, ideal current source. So how you find out the source transformation must be there? If suppose there is the voltage sources must be there, I already tell that the voltage is always resistance will be series, but when you have to current source, the current source, the resistance will be in the parallel. When you have to convert the voltage source into current source, what we do, we know that V value and the resistance value. How you find out the current value? I is equal to V by R. So I is equal to 120 by 60, that is equal to 60. So whatever the voltage I is equal to 1, V is equal to 120 and R is equal to 60. 120 by 60 is whatever it may be is 2. So it is equal to 2 amps of the current with the series of the 6 volts. Simply we have taken as 12.06, 12 by 6. 12 by 6 is equal to 2 amps. And what is the resistance in series? The same resistance will become to the here in the parallel. So voltage source will be converted into the current source and current source will be converted into the voltage source. When you have to convert the voltage source into current source or current source into voltage source, whatever we have to do, when you have to know the voltages and resistance value, when you have to convert into current source, I is equal to V by R. Okay, when there is the current source must be there, that is I value and the resistance value we know, then we have to convert the voltages. V is equal to I into R. But when you observe that whatever the series resistance must be there, you have to put the same resistance in the shunt. Whatever the shunt resistance will be there, then you have to same resistance in series. So the same value must be same. But when you observe here, the voltage source is always the resistance will be series and the current source resistance will be parallel. So in this class we discuss about the what are the different analysis of the system under the Kirchhoff's laws, source transformation technique, and star delta transformations.